which had cost 3 men their lives, a foray which had given his 2 comrades and himself 70 fowls, 2 sheep, money, and something to laugh about for 6 months. The culprits were never found. Indeed, they were not sought for, the Arab being looked upon as the soldier's prey. But in Paris it was different. There one could not commit such deeds with impunity. He regretted that he had not remained where he was, but he had hoped to improve his condition, and for that reason he was in Paris. He passed the Vaudeville and stopped at the Café Américain, debating as to whether he should take that glass. Before deciding, he glanced at a clock. It was 9:15. He knew that when the beer was placed in front of him, he would drink it, and then what would he do at 11 o'clock? So he walked on, intending to go as far as the Madeleine and return. When he reached the Place de l'Opéra, a tall young man passed him, whose face he fancied was familiar. He followed him, repeating, "Where the deuce have I seen that fellow?" For a time he racked his brain in vain. Then suddenly he saw the same man, but not so corpulent and more youthful, attired in the uniform of a hussar. He exclaimed, "Wait, Forestier!" and hastening up to him, laid his hand upon the man's shoulder. The latter turned, looked at him and said, "What do you want, sir?" Duroy began to laugh. "Don't you remember me?" "No." "Not remember Georges Duroy of the 6th Hussars?" Forestier extended both hands. "Ah, my dear fellow, how are you?" "Very well, and how are you?" "Oh, I am not very well. I cough 6 months out of the 12 as a result of bronchitis contracted at Bougival about the time of my return to Paris 4 years ago." "But you look well." Forestier, taking his former comrade's arm, told him of his malady, of the consultations, the opinions, and the advice of the doctors, and of the difficulty of following their advice in his position. They ordered him to spend the winter in the south, but how could he? He was married, and was a journalist in a responsible editorial position. I manage the political department on La Vie Francaise. I report the doings of the Senate for Le Salut, and from time to time I write for La Planète. That is what I am doing." Duroy, in surprise, glanced at him. He was very much changed. Formerly, Forestier had been thin, giddy, noisy, and always in good spirits. But 3 years of life in Paris had made another man of him. Now he was stout and serious, and his hair was gray on his temples, although he could not number more than 27 years. Forestier asked, "Where are you going?" Duroy replied, "Nowhere in particular." "Very well, will you accompany me to the Vie Francaise, where I have some proofs to correct, and afterwards take a drink with me?" "Yes, gladly." They walked along arm in arm with that familiarity which exists between schoolmates and brother officers. "What are you doing in Paris?" asked Forestier. Duroy shrugged his shoulders. "Dying of hunger."